Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School.
Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
What is DevOps? That's one question you must be having. What is DevOps? Okay. What is SRE? And what is DevSecOps? What is the DevOps? And first thing, and second thing, why we should learn. Why we should learn. Because there should be some reason for it, right? Why we all are all the organization is getting crazy about DevOps. Why we all are getting crazy about SRE. Why we are talking about the DevSecOps now. From last 1 year, the DevSecOps has been, a kind of prime focus for many organizations. So why? What was the reason for this? So now let's try to understand, and I'll try to give you my perspective in a little bit of short way. Okay, so this is something which I can help you here. So now if you look at this, the software development life cycle. Okay, we've been doing lots of things from last 20 years, 30 years and stuff like that. And now I'm going to talk about nothing but the history of software development, development life cycle, history of. Okay, so now when you get into the history, then one of the things which you talk about is software consumption. Okay, consumptions. Okay, software consumptions. How we were consuming a software. That's an important thing. How we were consuming a software. So now if you look at this 30 years before, or let's say, and the next one 15 years before, and now how we were consuming the software. 30 years from now, 15 years from now, how we were consuming the software. So earlier we were consuming the software through the CDs. If you remember, if you want to have a software, you install the CDs, you buy the CDs, correct? You buy the CDs. So now you buy the CDs and you become an owner of the software. Yes, you become an owner of the software. So you are owning that particular Microsoft Office or Microsoft MS Office or Tally or Photoshop or operating system like any operating system. So you're owning that license. You bought that and you paid upfront. In fact, without using a software, you have paid the amount. So this is how we were using the software, let's say 30 years from now, in the past, till 15, 16 years, until we got the internet. And then what has happened? After this, we got the internet. That is the thing. So before internet, we were using in form of CDs. Now, one of the things which if you look at this here, we were consuming the software in CDs. We were owning the software, running the software in which is the locations we were running. We were running in the desktop, right? We were paying upfront. So what has happened? Software organization wanted to have something in place. what they wanted to have. So I would call it objective, software organization objective. And the objectives were they wanted to reduce a software development cost. Software development cost. That's one of the objective. They wanted to reduce the software development cost, and then they wanted to reduce, improve a software development quality. Understand that? Organization, I'm talking about the company like Microsoft. Okay, improve software development quality. These are the two objectives they always had it. So they decided, let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. We will have certain process. What we call it? Software development model. Okay, software development model, software development architecture. So then we started talking about, okay, develop a software in this architecture, develop a software in this particular model. So what was the model which we are having? Okay, what were the model which we are having? So here I'll just remove this SD. In short, I'll put it up so that way I'll get a space. Software development model, software development architecture. So here, if you look at this, the objective for the organizations were to reduce the software development cost and improve the software development quality. So they suggested, let's do one thing. Let's use the software development model as a waterfall model. Okay, I think many of you know that waterfall model. Nothing new. We've been hearing this model from last so many years. And let's have the software development architecture monolithic. Okay, so now what is a monolithic and what is a waterfall model? I think you know that. So quick, just to save some time, I'm not going to cover the slides and all. Just look at this waterfall model. Here, this is the waterfall model. See here, look at any image. Just open up this image only. So we do the requirement analysis, then system design, then implementation, then testing, then deployment, then maintenance. Now we complete the analysis, then we do the design. Then we complete the design, then we do implementation. When we complete the implementation, then only we do the testing, and when we do the testing, then only we do the deployment and maintenance. So basically this is a linear approach. This is the linear approach. So now when we have a linear approach, then what is the release cycle? What is the release cycle? So release cycle would become a year, 1 year. That means that's the reason you remember Microsoft still releases once in a year, not every day. Why they do not release every day? Because their product is running in not in the with the internet, but their product is running in the desktop. People are paying upfront. They are installing through CDs or some download EXEs, this, that, and all. So each one of us is owning the software. Each one of us is owning the software. Just a second, give me a few seconds, guys. Yeah, sorry. So here, so the organization started following the software development model, waterfall model, architecture monolithic. So now the question is, what is a monolithic software development? So in the monolithic, what happens? Everything, monolithic software, you see here, everything is combined together. Everything combined together, like a MS Office, everything is in one package. Operating system, everything is on one package. Adobe Photoshop, everything is one package. So every software, every feature you have combined together. All features, you will get it in only one package. So this is called monolithic. Then release cycle used to be 1 year for this. Okay. So this is the software development model they used. This is the software architecture they used. This is the release cycle used to be there. And that is how the software we were consuming. But suddenly what happened? we got the internet. Yes, we got the internet. When we got the internet, then the popularity has grown for internet based applications. So now what has happened? What has happened here is, see here, same thing again. Look at this, how we are consuming the software. So now with internet, now remember, this is the 15 years here. So from last 15 years we have internet, more than that, few years more than that. So now what we are doing, software we are not consuming through the CDs, we are consuming through the browser. Are we running the software? Are we the owner of the software? Let's say yahoo.com or google.com. Are you owner of the software? No, you are not the owner of the software. Are you paying the software? No, are you not paying the software? Where it's running? It's running in the data center. You see here how this has moved. Here how this has moved software consumption from CDs to browser. Okay, it's running somewhere else in the data center. We are not paying money. We have we paid for the Google? Have we paid for the Yahoo? Have we paid for the LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram? Have we paid for this? No. So this is the new era of the software development. With the internet based applications they have started developing. Website, we call it website, right? Application. So now then organization said, we have to prioritize some of the stuff. We have to prioritize. Organization, companies, they wanted to have some objective. So they wanted to reduce the software development cost further. They wanted to improve the software development quality also, but same time, because you know that the software is running in the data center, so they wanted to reduce a release cycle, reduce a release duration of the release cycle, duration of the release cycle. Okay, this is the kind of things they were trying to do that. Okay, so this is what they were trying to do that. So now we got one more objective: reduce the release cycle duration. Okay, this is the something which they got it. So now you think about it. If this software organizations, they wanted to reduce the cost, same time improve the software development, software quality, same time they wanted to reduce the development cycle, release cycle. So earlier the release cycle used to be 1 year, but now they have to reduce something. So from here they migrated to Agile model. Agile model, what we do, many of you must be knowing about it. Agile software development. Okay, Agile software development, what do we do? So earlier what we were doing, understand this, MS Paint. What we were doing here, earlier all the softwares we were releasing, let's say in 1 year, this we were doing in 1 year. So many software features we were doing the release, hell lot of features. You look at the MS Office, every year you get a new software altogether, new UI, new functionality, lots of things you get it. But now organization, because it's not running in the desktop, it's running at one place, and that application has to be run up and running 24/7. That application has to be run 24/7 without any downtime. Okay, runtime. Okay, so that has to happen. So what they did, they said no, we will not do the releases once in a year, we will do the releases once in a 2 week. So they say this week I will release this week I'll release this, like this. So now they converted the software development model and architecture altogether. So now from here, development model, here it become waterfall to Agile, and from the monolithic to SOA. SOA means service oriented architecture. So earlier, have you heard about when you install the MS Office, have you heard about the web server? Have you heard about the app server? Have you heard about the database server? No. But now we are knowing app server, database server, load balancer server, web server, this server, login server, cache server. So this is a service, database service, app service, web service and load balancer service. So service oriented architecture they migrated. Now the release cycle got reduced to 2 weeks. Why? So here features they were doing too many, only one feature at a time. One feature at a time. Okay. So this is the kind of evolutions what we have. So did you understand that how we are, changing the world of the software development, model and architecture? Are you getting my points? What I'm trying to say here? Guys, are you getting my points?
Yeah, Rajesh, very much.
Yeah. So now what has happened suddenly? Now let's come to the current stage, today's world. Now the world which you are living in. Now internet is not a thing, but we are actually here. We were using the internet. But now we are living on the internet. See here. Earlier we were connecting the internet and then doing the things, but now we are living on the internet. No matter whether we are using or not, internet is using us. Like our mobile is connected to the app based, so internet based website, but now we get internet based applications and in devices. These applications which is running, like you must be using banking applications in your mobile, you use travel applications, you use fun applications, social applications, this application, that applications. So every sort of applications you use every day, and now you're not using internet, you are consuming internet every day, every moment, every minutes. So in this case, what has so now the organizations wanted to do some more objective, do better things. So they got all this thing, but little bit of objective got changed here. So they wanted to reduce the software development cost, improve the software development quality, but here reduce the duration of the life cycle, recycle to immediate release functionality. You got it. So they wanted to reduce the release cycle here, so they got 2 weeks, but now they wanted now. For example, here now you see here only one feature or one small feature, whatever it is, and Agile they converted to DevOps. Now from the SOA, so software oriented architecture, they converted to microservices. And here release cycle from 1 year to 2 weeks to now 5 minutes. Think about it. In the 5 minutes, you have to do the planning, coding, testing, everything you have to do now in 5 minutes. Now the question is, I'm just using this keyword for the visualization purpose only. That might not be applicable for every places. Okay. So now you have to, for example, let's say I'll put it in this way. You are using, let's say you are having the aggregate, you are using the car service, right? Car aggregated services. So you are, let's say Ola is down for some time. So what you will do? For just is down for 30 seconds because of some reason. It could be the reliability, it could be availability, it could be the quality, it could be the load, this, that, any reasons is down for 5 seconds or 1 minute or whatever it is. So what you will do? You will migrate to Uber. Next day, if it is down, again you will migrate to Uber. Third day, you never come to Ola. So this is the kind of world we are living in. You are expecting not even single second downtime. Same time, you don't want to pay for it. Have you paid for Facebook? Have you paid for LinkedIn? Have you paid for Twitter? Have you paid for, let's say, doing some transaction to the Google Pay? Have you paid for the Google searches? Have you paid for the any websites which you are using? No, we are not paying for it. So just imagine when we are not paying for it, how this organization will run so much of application in the data center. So you must be thinking, well, then they run ads, but Here, Microsoft used to make money by selling the software in advance, upfront. But here, Google is making money through ads, and even though they make money only when you click on it. And now you have to think about it. Are you really clicking on those ads? So the world has changed here. So software organization, those who are running the applications, their objective also has changed. Slowly, if you look at this, all the application, no matter what application which you are using, slowly they are going to the cloud. Slowly they are going to become a app-based software. So for those scenarios, the challenge is how would they reduce the software development cost again? Because this running cost is too high, and development cost should not go beyond their the profit and revenue, whatever it is. They should also improve the quality. So the software should be running 24/7. How can they have an immediate release? So this is the objective for the organization, and they found out the solution in DevOps, microservices, and stuff like that. So here the software development model from Waterfall to Agile, and now we are having DevOps. From software development architecture for Monolithic to SOA, and from the microservices. So now we should know what is DevOps. We should know what is microservices. What is microservices? So this is the things now I'm going to explain you. So now let's understand that DevOps is just a model, software development model. Just a software development model. For what? For what? You know that by now. For what? What reason? This reason. Now the question is how? How can we practice DevOps? How can we practice DevOps? So there are few things we have to do. First thing, employ. Second thing, employer. Okay. Employee, employer, both has to change. What? Change the mindset. Mindset of what? Now you are not. Understand that. Very simple rule. Change your mindset. Now you are not a dev, not a QA, not a IT, not a DV, not an architect. You are what? You are DevOps. You are DevOps. Yes. So if you want to understand what is a DevOps, you are DevOps. You are not a dev, QA, IT, DV, and stuff like that. You are a DevOps. This is called mindset change. Can you say yourself as a DevOps? If someone will ask you what you are, so you'll say, I'm an architect, I'm a manager, I'm a DB, I'm a QA, I'm a dev. But no, we have to change the mindset of the people, employees. Now you are a DevOps and you have to do everything. Yes, that's the thing you have to do. Now development also, QA also, testing also, infrastructure work also, database work also, architecture also, everything you have to do. Now you must be wondering how come that is possible? How come I can do that? So yes, first you change your mindset. You have to do that as part of the DevOps. Everything you have to do as part of the DevOps. Okay, everything. So change your mindset. Cultural changes. That's what we say. DevOps is all about the culture changes. That's all. If you change your mindset, if you change your culture, you are a DevOps engineer. That means you become a developers also, we become a QA also, IT also, everyone you become. So now in the world of software engineering right now, any organization, what they need a person, understand that very straightforward word, a person who can write a code for the product, or a person who can write a code for testing a product. Understand that. a person who can write a code. Again, everyone is writing a code in the world of the DevOps. Code for operations and infra. So no matter what you are writing a code, and you are writing a code for everything. So you are doing development also, you are doing testing also, you are managing the infrastructure also, you are managing operations also, you are architecting the software, database, everything you are doing. So now you must be wondering, how can I do that everything? Am I gone crazy? How can you do everything? So the answer is hidden in architecture. Answer is hidden in architecture. Now you need to understand what is microservices. So let's understand this way. This is the software. Let's say this is the software. You have a multiple feature. Service-based oriented architecture or monolithic. Multiple features are there. Now, how many teams are working together in this to do this release? Let's say 20 people. When you do the release, let's say you are following Agile, 2 weeks, right? And what is the model you are following? Agile model. And what is the architecture you have? SOA, service oriented architecture or monolithic, whatever. So right now 20 people are working. Out of these 20 people, some of them are dev, some of them are QA, some of them are IT, some of them are this one, DV and stuff like that, architect and all. Now, this is the model which we are having right now, Agile model, Kanban model, Scrum model, whatever it is. How can we migrate it to DevOps model? So what we have to do, we have to change the architecture of the software architecture, microservices. So let's keep this one out. This is a separate service now. This is separate service. This is separate service. This is separate service. This is separate service. Like this, you got a separate service. Now you have, for the whole product, you have a 20 teams. Now we have a 2 people, 3 people, 1 people, 2 people, 1 people, 2 people, 3 people. Now you see here. Now code base, earlier you had 100 MB or 1 GB, whatever it is, 1 GB. Now we have a 5 MB of code base, 5 MB of code base. Now you tell me you have only 2 people in your team. You are only responsible for developing this code. So you have to do development plus testing plus operations together. Can't you do that? You don't have to do the whole product. You have to do the very small part of the code. This is called microservice. This is called microservice. So yes, that is what I'm talking about. You have to do everything. Development also, testing also, operations also, but not for entire product. You have to do only for the one microservices, not for whole service. Only one for the microservice. Here you are saving lots of time basically. No mails, no emails, no sync up meeting, no coordination meeting, no daily scrum, no this, no that. You are only 2 people, you are only 1 people. So you are saving lots of time. Lots of time. So can't you do this now? You tell me. Is it possible? Is it possible? Are you getting my points here? What I'm trying to say?
Yes, possible, Rajesh.
Yeah, it is possible because you are doing not everything, guys. You are doing just part of it. It's like this. Let's say if you have a dinner, okay, understand that. If you have a dinner today and you have 20 dishes, you are not being asked to cook for 20 dishes. You are being asked only to cook for 1 dishes. So for cooking 1 dishes, do you really need to talk to anyone? No. If you are preparing 20 dishes, then you need to have a meeting, talking, discussion, sharing, email, exchange, this, that, planning, executions. That's where we lose the time actually. So now we are not losing a time. The development is very fast. So you have to change the architecture. You have to know in detail what is a microservices concept also. But yes, that is what. So what is the DevOps here? What is the DevOps? So DevOps is a software development model. For what? For these objectives, for organization. But how can we practice the DevOps? You have to become this. You have to code for the product, or you have to code for the testing of product, or you have to code for the operation or infrastructure with this microservices.
Hey viewers, Our Master in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Now, so first of all, you have to change your mindset. Then you have to learn what is a microservices, and then you have to learn new technology. Yes, if you think older technology will help you, probably might not. You need to learn new technology, and that's where I am teaching you all these new technologies which will help you to become a DevOps engineer. How can you do that? How cloud, you don't have to wait for anyone else to give you the IT infrastructure. You can create containers, analysis tools, build management tool, web server, this, that, everything you have it. And each and every tool, trust me, it's not very difficult to learn. If you have a little bit of dedications, if you have a little bit of willingness to sacrifice of your few hours apart from that training, then I think you can learn. It's not a big deal. So learn new technology.
One question, yeah. So when the architecture has changed from SOA to microservices, so in case of microservices, though the application is same, it has been divided into isolated individual components, right? So
Right, yeah.
how those components are integrated? At the end of the day, the application is single application.
That's correct. That's a very good question. So here, actually, what will happen between the each microservices, there will be contract signed. Okay, contract means at the enterprise level, they will say, okay, you send, there's a request and response. Okay, so you send some information, you send some information, you receive some information, and you send some information. So no matter what you do here, you should always allow to receive that input, and you should always return that output. If you follow this contract, then no one can interfere, no one. For example, let me put it in this way. Let's say this microservices is login microservices, and this microservice is the dashboard. So now dashboard microservices has a contract with login. If you come with the right ID, and if you, so see here, people will come to login page. This login page will only authenticate if the user has given right user ID and password. That is his job. Now, once this is done, they will redirect to this one. So dashboard is saying, if the any request come from you, I will allow to access the dashboard. If any request come from anyone else, I will decline that request. So this is a kind of contract. Now the question is, who can do that and how can we do that? So contract management and all, everything we are talking in this part here. Some of the tools which you will be using, for example, Kubernetes, will be using Envoy, Istio, Consul. These are the tools which will help you to manage the microservices in a detailed way. These are the tools. Okay, an easy way, not very difficult.
Okay, thank you.
Rajesh, as we compare the SOA and microservices, both are serving the applications need. Microservices break down into individual components. So,
Yeah.
and even in the service-based architecture, the diagram which you showed, right? There are small components that are there. So actually, if you look at it, both are having the small components. So what exactly the difference is there in the SOA and the microservices? We are just pulling apart.
This image, whatever I draw, no, it's a monolithic basically. It's not SOA. But if I design the SOA, let me design the SOA. So here, let's say I'll design the SOA. See here, this is the user. Okay, user hit in the browser laptop. This is the laptop, and you type www.google.com. It go to the DNS server. From the DNS server.
Oh, we are not able to see the screen. Okay, now it's good. Yeah.
You are seeing the MS Paint.
Now it's good.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now we can see it. We were not seeing your screen before.
Okay, sorry. So I don't know what has happened. So here, this is me. Okay, this is me. I'm sitting in home. This is my laptop, and I type www.google.com. So it will go to the DNS server. DNS server will take you to the load balancer. Okay, I'm just giving you the visualization at the very high level. It can get complicated as well. Now load balancer will load balance the web server. Okay, this is the web server. How many server we have? Here we have hundreds of server you have. So this is the web server. Okay, now web server will hit to the one of the another load balancer, which is for app server. So now how many web server you have? App server we have, so hundreds of app server. Now again we have some load balancer, and it can be database server. So like that, this is the one service, web service. This is the app service. This is the database service. So now this is how the service-based architecture works. Now if you have a app service you have hundreds of features. Now for hundreds of features, how many people you needed? 30 people. Now but imagine in this case, you have a one microservices, you have a small web service, app service, database. Microservices rule is very simple. Each microservices will have an app service, each microservices will have a web service, each microservices will have a database, their own database. Very lightweight code, and receive something, request with some parameter and response. Process it, all this thing will be done here. So this way, it will be, it will be good, right? So is that answer your questions?
Yes, little bit. Yeah, I got your point. Like, because I was confused with the same, like, service-oriented architecture also servicing with the components, and microservices also serving the same thing. But I got your point now. In the microservices, we are just trying to bring isolate and break down into small pieces.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, this is the microservices. So now the question is, yes, what we want to practice DevOps. For what reason? These are the reasons, you know that very well. But the question is, what organizations should do? So first of all, organizations is enabling every employee to change their mindset. So don't call yourself as a dev, QA, ID, DB, architect, lead, so whatever it is, call yourself DevOps. That means what you have to do? You have to do everything. You have to have a mindset of doing everything. So if you are saying, no, I will not do QA, or I will not do the development, I will not do the coding, that means your mindset still is in the era of waterfall model. Okay, so understand that. That's the reason we are having, every organization is so serious about the DevOps, because they want their employee to change their mindset and then learn the new technology, and same time avoid the wastage. Again, let me tell you guys, each topic is a pretty large topic. Avoid a wastage itself is a 2 hours of discussion. What kind of wastage I want to avoid? Is so much of things is there. Learning new technology, again, so much of things are there. Microservices, again, so much of things are there. So again, it's like a big world, but at a high level, I'm giving you all this information, I'm sharing you. So these are the things you have to do. Okay, first change your mindset. Understand a pain area. It's very important. Understand that pain area which is stopping you to release. Understand that very simple line I'm putting up. Understand the pain area which is stopping you to release in 5 minutes. That's all. Very simple question. Why you are releasing in 1 day? Why you are not releasing in 5 minutes? So you will tell 10 reasons for it. That reason you have to solving that pain area. Okay, with new technology, and same time avoid the wastage. So this whole discussions I have done in detail in the 3 hours. I would like to share with you. Please watch this. These all are important for all of us. Let me log in. Okay, so log in. I'm already logged in, right? Yeah. So here, DevOps free videos, all these discussions is there here, 1 and 2. Okay, what is in detail? This only I'm emphasizing only these points, but in detail. So please watch these 3 hours of recording in offline hours and understand that what exactly I'm talking about, what exactly I'm trying to understand, what is the pain area which is stopping you to release in 5 minutes, or how to solve this problem. What are the new technologies which anyways we will learn, and how to avoid the wastage. These all things you have to go in detail and understand that if you really want to know. Okay, if you really want to know, because this is a major discussion points you may have during in a public places, or maybe in your with your team or in your company or whatever it is. What is the benefit of DevOps? So you have to convince other people also, right? Changing the mindset. So you have to have all these things. So please go through this. These are 3 hours of recording which is available, and probably it will help you. Now the question is, employer also has to change. What they have to change? So they need to change. Are they really wanting? Are they really want DevOps in a simple way? Are they really want this stuff? If this, let's say, organization saying, I don't want to release in immediate, I'm releasing 6 months, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then I think DevOps is not good. But again, if you look at this, do you want to reduce the cost? Do you want to really improve the quality? Then again, DevOps will get applied. DevOps with a new definition. So yes, even though if you don't want immediate release, even though if your software is not running in the application, still you want the quality, right? Still you want the reduction on the cost of the software development. So you need a DevOps. Still you need a DevOps. So yes, do you really want? You have to fix that, and you have to restructure your team, because most of the time you have a fighting. Okay, STRUCTURE, restructure a team, because most of the time when you have a fighting, because you say you are a dev, you are a QA, you are IT, you are a DV, you are architect, you are operations. But the moment you say no, you are not a dev, IT, QA, DV, you are a DevOps, and you are supposed to do everything. Simple. So restructure a team. Okay, and set a goal. Train your team. Train your team. So this is the way you can do the DevOps. Okay, so here ultimately I just at the high level I try to help you with it. Again, this 3 hours of videos will help you to understand what exactly employer needs in detail in order to onboard with the DevOps. But at a high level, how can you practice the DevOps? So you have to become everything. You have to change your mindset. So many people are scared. Do I need to write a code? Do I need to write a test cases? Do I need to write an infrastructure script? The answer is yes. But is it really hard? Answer is no. Okay, everything is so easy now, because that's what I'm saying. Learn new technology. Don't rely upon the old technology. Learn new technology. Everything will become so easy. You will have a fun time with these tools. So guys, this is the kind of quick discussion about what is DevOps and what is a microservices. Again, I would like to share with you microservices around 3 to 4 hours of session. If you really want to know and learn about this, so let me share with you. I don't have access here, but I would like to log out and log in with the admin access. So I can give you the links of those microservices here, and site home, master. This is the master in software DevOps engineering. So guys, here these are the sessions is for microservices. Okay, these are the session for microservices. So let me see if I have a separate micro. Okay, here we have one more course. I think there's no video, so I think that's the video which I was showing you that has a microservices discussion, which is recently done with the help of the first batch of MD. So I think you can go through this and microservices you really want to know. I think it's a 5 hours of session, 4 hours, I guess, maybe 4 hours. Yeah. So yep, if you want to deep dive into the microservices, please go through this. If you really want to understand in detail DevOps, go through this. But at a high level, did you understand what is the use of DevOps? What is the use of microservices?
Question.
Yes.
I understand, but I'm wondering why are we not teaching that live, just like you did for the first MDE course? Why do we have to go watch only the recorded version? I'm trying to get an understanding of that.
Yeah. So here actually the first batch what we had here in with MD, more or less the model was not to do the tools training, but more or less is like software development. Like we wanted to you all participant to write a code from first day onwards, and then write a test cases, write an infrastructure script and all. But I learned from this model, I mean from this training, like people are not very confident and motivated to write a code, and same times most of are busy with their own personal life, office life and all. So I changed the model. Now I don't want to you to force the I don't want to force to you to write a program. Rather than I will have a sample projects, and I will teach you how to use sample projects with all this stuff. Again, same time I'm going to teach you the some programming language also, like Java here, Python here. But again, I will not ask you to do that, because what happens when I ask you to do that, and if you do not do that, our batch get delayed, and that is what I do not want. That's my learning from the last session, and in fact we had some cancellations also. So I decided, okay.
Sorry, you're not addressing my question. I'm saying, why are you not teaching, for example, the microservices content, and why do we have to go watch the recorded version? Why are you not teaching that live right now is what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's what I was answering actually. So at the end of I was supposed to add. So basically, if you see here, microservices concept itself I have discussed here in 4 hours. Okay. DevOps, see, look at this here. DevOps concept, the video which I shared with you, is almost 3 hours. So 4 plus 3 hours, 7 hours. On top of that SRE concept, again we have a 3 hours. So this is a theoretical actually. This is a conceptual. I mean, you have to have a knowledge about the conceptual definition of microservices or DevOps. Now, I am giving you what is DevOps at the high level right now. If you find interest, you can go through this here, but we have a limitation in terms of time actually. So if you look at this here, I want to give you the high level perspective of DevOps, SRE, DevSecops, SOA, and microservices, high level. After that, I want to teach you all these tools. That is, again, you are going to learn each these tools with a demo here, and we are going to spend time. So let's say if you decide, if we decided to spend all of our time, let's say in understanding the conceptual itself, then people might lose the interest, because their ultimate goal is to learn these tools and then perform well in the interview, rather than
okay.
rather
So
than
I just want to make sure, like, we're not setting a precedent, like we have to go be watching recorded video, because that's not what we paid for. We paid for, like, for you to teach
no,
us
don't worry
live.
about this.
So that's what I'm trying to get an understanding of. Or is it that, like, the microservices video you told us to go watch, it's not important content, and that's why it's optional for anybody to go watch it if they want more? Is that what it is? I'm just trying to get an understanding.
That's correct. Yeah. So
yeah.
Why I'm helping you? For example, let's say Kubernetes. This I am using the Kubernetes example again. It's a 4 hours of session we have. But actually, if you really want to know, we have a 30 hours of session also. So I will cover the content in 4 hours. But if you really want to learn more and more in depth knowledge you want to gain, you have to watch 30 hours of videos. So both options you have available with us.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Sorry, I didn't mean to trouble you, but I have a question on microservices. So, if one aspect of the microservices breaks down, will it affect all the other parts? Like, will the entire application stop running, or is there like a fault isolation in place? So if only one service breaks down, then it doesn't affect everything.
Yes. So as part of when you design a microservices, then we also design the fault tolerance, okay, and circuit breaker. Okay, these are the conceptual stuff. Circuit breaker. Now, just a second. This is the one, and circuit breaker. So which will make sure that, okay, and with the help of these tools, the one tool which I was showing you, like console, invoice.io, these are the tools, Kubernetes, these are the tools which will help you to build the fault tolerance and circuit breaker. Okay, now if the one microservices is not responding, either it will be redirecting the process or request to some other the instance of the same service, or it will go and do the circuit break. That means it will not break the entire flow, but only one request and response. So all these things can be done with the help of the some tools like this, Kubernetes, invoice.io, and console, and all stuff like that. So here we can design our fault tolerance and circuit breaker for the each services. So here, remember, we are trying to create a service which should be 24/7 available without even a single second of downtime, and you cannot do without the help of the tools. And that's where we are learning all these tools, and to make these things available, highly scalable, highly reliable, and secure. So these are the conceptual stuff of the microservices. When you design the system, it should be having, but these tools will give you inbuilt features of these requirements.
Okay, got it. So that means if one service breaks down in the microservices architecture, it's not going to affect the other services because we're using all these tools to ensure we have highly available.
So we try to run in the software in a distributed way, where one is failing, other will be available, and so like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So now I try to give you some high-level information about the DevOps and microservices. Now the question you must be having, what is SRE? That's the question you must be having. What is SRE? Okay, what is SRE? And you must be having, what is DevSecOps? Okay, what is DevSecOps? So here, one of the drawbacks of DevOps is like we expect too much of things to be done by one individual, and even though if this individual is ready to do that, having the right mindset, we have to change the architecture from SOA to microservices, and some of the technology also we have to implement. But the transition from the old technology to new technology cannot be done overnight. It might take 6 months, it might take 1 year, it might take 2 years. And that is where many organizations felt that DevOps is a good thing, DevOps is a very good thing, but actually we don't want DevOps because we cannot migrate overnight. Yes, you cannot migrate overnight, or you cannot migrate in 1 month, you cannot migrate in 2 months, you cannot migrate in 3 months. It will take some time. It will take a 6 month, 1 year, 2 years. It might take lots of time, because architecture also you have to change of the software. Many things has to be changed. So then we found a gap. Like DevOps is a very good thing, but it's not easily accessible. I mean, accessible. So what we do in this case? Then we created some bridge between Dev plus Ops, and we call it SRE. See here, in a DevOps, we combine the responsibility of Dev and operations together. That means you have to do everything now in DevOps. But SRE, you don't have to do everything. So development will keep doing the development activity. Operations will get extended responsibility. Extended responsibility of what? Many things. Scalability. Okay, I'm so sorry for the spelling mistake if you find it, because I'm just using with the discussion. So yeah, so here in SRE, what is happening? We call it SRE, means site reliability engineering. Okay, so that means site means your product, entire website, which is app which you are running. Reliability means it should be reliable. the software should be reliable. That means complete app reliable. And you understand the reliable meaning. And engineering, yes, operation is not anymore operation, it's engineering. Engineering means you are part of the team, part of development team. And here when I say development team, that means include QA, ITs, everything, architect, everything. So now SRE is a team which is a part of the engineering team, not operations anymore. We got additional responsibility, and their responsibility to make the site reliable. That means, in a simple way, highly available, monitoring, BAILABL, monitoring. Again, which monitoring? Log monitoring, infra monitoring, cloud monitoring, performance monitoring, security monitoring. So many monitorings should be in place automatically. Observability, aka observability, and stuff like that. So it should be highly available, highly reliable, okay, distributed, cost effective, and monitoring in place. And same time, the action, like on-call action, should be immediate. So for all this thing, we have a dedicated team for that, and that we call SRE. So SRE is not doing only the operations, but they are helping the engineering team to do the development, fixing the bugs, finding out the bugs, making sure that everything is in sync. So I would like to show you some slides in this case. So we'll give you light perspective. So before SRE, we had, let it open. So before SRE, see here, this is the model before SRE. So earlier we had a development and operations separate. Okay, now there were two different teams, and development will be owning, understand that here, look at the image very carefully, owning the design, development, testing, and acceptance, whereas operations will own support, maintenance, capacity. But when they want to sync up for the delivery, they were working together. Only during the delivery they were working together. This is called dev and plus operations. Okay, are you okay with this are you okay with this image? Can I move on to the SRE model now?
Yes.
Okay, now I'll show you the difference between development, operation, and versus SRE. So let me go to that image. See here, this is the SRE team. Look at this here. Now development and SRE both are separate team, but working together during the design also. Because if something they are designing in the development environment, that should be working in the production environment. SRE team has a production environment knowledge, development is the development environment knowledge. So they are working together to design, develop, test, acceptance, delivery, support, maintenance, and capacity planning. Let me tell you here, again, they are not doing all the tasks, but helping each other, coordinating each other, nothing else. So see here, design is, they are helping each other for design the software, they are helping each other for development of the software. Again, this task will be owned by the development team only, but SRE team will work very closely with during the design and development. Again, during the acceptance test, during the delivery, during the support, again development team will help SRE team during the support and maintenance and capacity planning. So this is the only difference here. So here SRE means site reliability engineering team, who's working very closely with the development team, which is engineering team, to get the software product available, developed, and tested and available. So did you understand that at the high level what is SRE?
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Guys, did you understand that?
Can you shed more light on it, please?
Which one?
On the SRE team, the core functionality, because it still sounds like what a normal DevOps engineer is doing. Like there's not really
No, in the DevOps, actually there is no development team, there is no SRE team. In the DevOps, only one team, DevOps team, and DevOps team is doing everything from the design to the capacity planning. But here there's a separate team, development plus SRE team. But SRE team will work very closely with the development team, and development team will work very closely with SRE team. Still there will be two separate teams. You see that image? Still there's a separate team. But here in DevOps, I said very specifically, it's a one team. Are you getting my points?
What is the role of ops team, Rajesh? Where is the ops team here
so
now?
Ops has been converted to SRE team actually. Yes, ops team has been converted to SRE team, and that's what we call it SRE. Okay, with additional responsibilities. Now, why this SRE has got introduced? Because DevOps is little bit challenging for the organization to achieve. So they found out the middle path. Let's do one thing. Let's not impact the current work. Let's do one thing. Earlier, developments were working in a separate environment. SRE team were operations team were working in a separate environment. Let's bring it together with a new concept that is called SRE. Slowly, once they start working together, then we will talk about the DevOps. So SRE become the middle path to achieve the DevOps in the long run. Are you getting my points?
Mm-hmm.
So as ops team has been replaced with SRE with the extended responsibilities.
That's correct. Yes. Earlier, ops teams were not working closely with during the design, during the development, during the acceptance test cases. Earlier, ops teams were only responsible during the delivery. But now, SRE team will be very much responsible during the design also, development also, acceptance testing also, delivery also, and development team will also support SRE team during the support, during the maintenance, during the capacity. That means both we is an engineering team basically. That's what we call it, SRE, engineering.
Yeah, Rajesh, one question. With the current structure in the organizations, like along with the development team, you will be having a release engineering team and you will be having a QA team. So where are they fitting in current with this model?
So all these people will come under the development team.
Okay, so now instead of all those individual teams, only two teams, development team and SRE team.
And one more thing I would like to add upon, as part of this new trend of the development team, the person who's writing a code, he should also write a test cases also, and cross validation should happen for the code review and test review. That means if I write a code, someone else or tool will review my code, and if I write a test cases, someone else will run those code and will validate those work. So it's like a peer code review, peer test code review and stuff like that. So lots of practices which is bringing in place in order to implement the DevOps.
So
Okay.
I have a question for you, Rajesh. So as the SRE person, that means I can, well, as a DevOps person, it means I can look for a SRE job. It's sounding to me almost like they are very interchangeable. Or does SRE person has the same skill set as a DevOps person? So with my DevOps resume, can I get a SRE job? Will the job responsibilities be similar and the skill sets be similar? Or what's the difference in terms of skill set or what I will be doing on a day-to-day as the SRE person versus a DevOps person?
See, there is two things. One is what I'm talking about is like whatever I'm talking about is exactly what is meant for. But when you talk about the practicality, still the many organizations, they call it DevOps position, but they have not reached to that stage. So yes, I agree. And many tools between the DevOps and SRE is matching. And nowadays, let me tell you here, no, though people call it a DevOps team, but actually they are performing a role of SRE. That is where the Google realized this in 2003 or 13, I think, and they introduced, let's not call DevOps as a DevOps, but I mean operation as a DevOps, but let's call SRE, because they wanted to have a DevOps which is like, which I have already explained it to you. Yes, many organizations, they say I want to hire DevOps engineer, but the work what they do is basically of SRE.
But here the experiences matter for the product development. Like for the DevOps person previously is more aligned to the operations and all the stuff. So to acquire the new skills, that is a bit challenging, right? And perform that SRE, because development team will be having more product design and this thing. So it is very difficult to check, sync up with them as well, right?
Right. Yep. See, it's like definitely there is a challenge. So SRE got introduced because of that only, because suddenly you can't become everything. You can't become a superstar in one night. You can start coding, you can start testing, you want operations, everything you alone you cannot do overnight. So for that only we got SRE. So SRE, that's what I've been repeating you. SRE is a middle path to achieve DevOps. And in today's world right now, people are hiring DevOps engineer with the title, but actual job what they are doing is of SRE only. They are not doing development activities. Okay, so if they are not doing development activities, that means they are not supposed to be called as a DevOps, but people are calling it because of still they are in a transition phase. So it's like a little bit of confusion, I agree, but this is what it is.
Sir, here SRE team means it's an infrastructure team, huh?
No, sir. Infrastructure used to be earlier in a Waterfall model, in Agile model. SRE team has a multiple responsibility, including infrastructure, capacity planning. Last one is capacity planning, including
yes, yes, sir. Capacity planning, the fault tolerance, they're doing infrastructure.
Yeah.
So where are you fitting like network team, infosec team in this model?
So here network team will probably, if you be realistic, network team will go into the merge with the SRE team.
Okay. And what about the infosec? Like I'm talking about all the service and business unit with support and a part of IT. So are you saying everyone will get fit in SRE model going forward in the future?
Yeah, so I'll put it in this way. Might not be a right definition, to be honest, but still just to convince you, IT people, network people, DV people, and that infra people, all these people, operations people, all these people will get into the SRE team.
Okay.
With this diagram, Rajesh, it looks like for testing domain, only and only development team is responsible, not the SRE team, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
And for maintenance, only SRE team is responsible, not development team.
That's correct. Yes.
But rest of the place, if I see, both the team is responsible.
Are not responsible. Responsibilities lies with the development team only in case of design, development, acceptance testing. But they will be working closely with SRE team. That's what he says. Shared goal, overlapping skill set, consistent tool and common basics. So they'll not be owning, SRE team will not be owning their work, but they have to be involved with it. So their planning can be better way, design can be better way.
Okay.
So it should not be like when it comes for the delivery, development environment is completely different, operation environment is completely different, and you are spending, let's say, month of time frame to upgrade from the development to the production, or maybe war zone is there for the multiple nights to just avoid that from the bringing to the development to the operations. So that scenario should not be there. To avoid those scenarios, we have to take the operations team along with the engineering team to work and then plan for everything.
Is this model or DevOps is applicable for the legacy system as well? Based on your experience, is the legacy system is also accepting the DevOps nowadays?
Only for these two objectives. See, objective for the DevOps is 4 right now, but if you want to reduce the software development cost and if you want to improve the software development quality, then you have to go for the DevOps, because DevOps will give you lots of practices, lots of processes, lots of tool sets which will help you to enhance your cost of development and quality. Yeah, again, maybe legacy product you don't want immediate release, you don't want to run 24/7, that's okay, but for this two still you need a DevOps.
Okay, got it.
Okay, guys. Now the question is, SRE we have understood that. Now the question is, what is a DevSecOps? So DevOps is still, has long way to go to achieve. Many organizations is yet to achieve that things. From last 4 years, we are driving these activities. Still, we find lots of challenges. So people are slowly migrating to the SRE also. But now, from last 2 years, there is one keyword has coined into the market, and that's called DevSecOps. Now, what is a DevSecOps? So here we are talking about the DevOps with security, because it's all about the application world, it's all about the internet world, it's all about that we all are connected with each other. So security is a very, very important factor to have the application running. So now the security is not like only runtime security. No, here I'm talking about the security at the planning phase. Yes, security at the planning phase. At planning phase, you have to plan. You have to security at this spelling mistake, right? Security. Here it is. So security at the plan phase, security at the design phase. Okay, security at the coding phase. Yes, security at the testing phase. Okay, security at the deployment phase. Okay, delivery, let's call it delivery. Security at the runtime, and security at delivery phase, and security at runtime in prod. So all these aspects has been added. Now who will take this responsibility? So that is where the DevSecOps has come into the picture. So basically DevSecOps is, I feel, I may not be correct, but I feel it's an extension to the security team. So they need to have, because security team earlier used to be at the production level only, but now you have to involve security at every stages: planning, design, coding, testing, delivery, and runtime also. Now the question is, who will do that? So the person who will be having the DevSecOps. Now again, DevOps is a challenge. So DevSecOps, again, we have a very wide definition for the DevSecOps, but for time being, as part of the DevSecOps, we are covering only the tools which can help you to learn the security aspect during the planning, design, coding, testing, delivery, and runtime. And for that, we have a different tools actually. So now we have some of the tool specific tools. If I talk about cloud security, Elasticsearch with the log security, Splunk with the performance security. Again, if you see that infra security, we have a Ceph and Vault. We have Ceph Inspect. We have a console also. We have a security. Istio, we have a security. Kubernetes also has some security aspects of it. Coding security, SonarQube. Again, you have AppScan and 45 runtime security. So many kind of security tools which we have added as part of this course. So those who have enrolled for the DevSecOps will be learning through these specific tools. Let me tell you here, some of the tools is common for everyone. Some of the tools specific to only for those people who have enrolled for the DevSecOps. Okay. So yes, I will teach you how can you implement that security at the design, planning, coding, test, delivery, and runtime with the help of certain tools which I have already mentioned. You might have gone through this, and I will teach you. Okay. So guys, this is the high level information about what we are going to learn. So if you want to really become a DevOps engineer, so you have to change mindset. You have to first change mindset. You stop getting scared from the programming. Okay, you have to slowly, not now, you don't have to scared and start doing now itself, but maybe in a 6 month you have to become a programmer plus QA plus operations, everything you have to become. And for that, again, I'm teaching you many things here. I'll teach you all these programming languages, testing languages, operations tools, security tools, and many things we are teaching you here. And if you want to become a SRE, then more or less it's like operation plus. So all this operation plus related tools I'll be teaching you. If you're a DevSecOps, you'll be learning all the security related tool plus some common tools. And if you are a part of the MDE, then you will be learning everything. That means all the tools of DevOps, DevSecOps, and SRE. Make sense, guys?
Makes sense. So I have a question about the DevSecOps part. So actually 2 questions. Will you be teaching us also, apart from teaching us just security in each phase like that, will you be teaching us like, hey, how to design and how to write like automated security tests and check in your CI/CD pipeline, right?
Yes, very much, very much.
So here,
yes, yeah. Very much. So when I talk about the tools, I'll not be giving you the theory part only and no jargons, no conceptual stuff. I will be just talking about how to use this tool to address these challenges, because this is the tools training. If you look at this, you have 45 tools almost in this session, and all these 45 tools except this one you see here, except first session, which is a conceptual session, rest of the session is only tools training. So no more jargons, only the implementation side will be there.
No. So specifically, I'm asking about security. Are we going to be writing automated security tests and
yes.
scripts like check like, hey, to check like vulnerability in our CI/CD pipeline? You know, that's what I'm specifically.
That's correct. So yeah, so you will be writing.
That's okay. Good. So that's my first question. Second question is so are we going to do any like container security, like how to secure our containers like Docker or Kubernetes also?
Yes, here it is. Twistcock Notary. I'm going to cover as I think it's the 24th tool or 24th day of the training. You will be learning this one, Twistcock and Notary for these containers.
Oh, very good. Okay. All right. Those are my 2 questions.
Yeah. But Twistlock is a paid tool. How we are going to implement it in the lab? Like, if we are going to do it as a project?
We will use the trial versions and stuff like that, and I'll arrange those stuff. I'll set up those lab environment. Demo environment. I'll do that stuff.
Okay.
Notary also is an open source CNCF product, and Twistlock also is a part of this. Is like a community version, so you can use it.
Okay.
In fact, if you see here, Datadog also is paid, but we can use this. Splunk is also paid, but you will have to do that. We'll get a free version. New Relic also paid. If you see Splunk SPIM is a very costly product actually, but we'll get it done somehow. This is the AWS related services. Chef Inspect is a free open source product. OSP is a paid one. So many paids are there, but these are the very popular in the markets. We have to use that.
So we will somehow, whatever the project work you are going to give us, we will try to integrate all these tools as a one solution.
Yes. So
okay.
So Jenkins will be the one for the integration, and last one here somewhere. See, Jenkins in the middle here, continuous integration for all the development efforts, and here these are the dashboard we will have at Prometheus, Kibana, Grafana. Sorry, not Kibana. Grafana is the dashboard, and where is the Kibana? Here it is. So this will be integration for your operations and security, and Jenkins will be a dashboard for your development environment, continuous integration.
Where is the Python?
Sorry if I interrupted you. Twistlock is more like checking the repository and all that stuff. So are we going to do some sort of deployment in the lab just for our learning purpose?
Yes, and sample projects will be having all the infrastructure I'll be having created, and some of the infrastructure I'll create during the training also. All the step-by-step information I'll show you also, and I'll share the documents also.
Okay, thank you.
So
Rajesh, I was just
this batch
sorry,
is a little
Rajesh.
bit different. This batch, I will not force you to write any programs. I will use my programs. I'll write my programs during the training or of the training, and I will use those programs only for all this demo and lab. You can use my programs yourself to do the lab and continue doing that, because we should not get demotivated saying that okay, you have to start writing program from tomorrow only onwards.
I mean, in the interview questions during the interview, do they make us do like write programs or do coding and stuff like that based on your experience?
See, I'll tell you here. If you are trying to hit the Adobe, Microsoft, Google, or Intuit, definitely they'll give you the programming things. So even I had to face those programs, and you have to do that. I was given Python program and C programs and all, and then they give you the algorithm. If you pass those interviews, then only they will put you in through some technical round of next page. Then these tools will help you. But many other organizations, they don't have this kind of provision. So depends on the organizations. Like a top organization, they always ask, no matter which profile you are trying for it, they will ask you one programming language. Now the one advantage what we have is you can select your programming language yourself. That means they will ask you, tell me which programming language you are more comfortable with, and based on that they will create assignment for you. So that's one advantage. In fact, Amazon has the same provision. So if you're trying for the if you're trying for the top organization, definitely you cannot skip. But yeah, if you're trying for the second level, middle level company, or let's say below than that, then they will come directly to these topics, these tools, and they'll ask you directly these questions.
Got it. Got it.
Rajesh, what type of programming overview are we going through here? Means which are those? Can you just highlight a few of them here?
So here I'll teach you Python with a sample application I'll develop in front of you. Here I will teach you Java, sample application I'll develop in front of you, and connect to the database, run it in the app server, web server, whatever it is, and make it live. Now I'll share with you everything, code, examples, videos, and all everything. If you try, probably if I do 4 hours, let's say, and if you do in 8 hours also or 10 hours also, that's very much fine. So I'm not expecting you to become a Python programmer, a kind of geek in overnight, but at least you can get started, right? The fear factor will go away from you, right? So that is important.
Yeah, that is very much important. Yep, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That will boost confidence at least. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Any front-end programming language, Rajesh, you will cover like JavaScript or anything?
So here what we have done, from the few tools I have removed it, because earlier I was having plan, I was wanted to cover that Agile DevOps, Agile developer, and Agile QA also along with this batch, but that didn't work. Many suggestions we received, and that didn't work. And in fact, last batch of MD helped me a lot to formulate all this stuff. So I removed all this too much of programming stuff. So here what I'm going to do, here when I say 4 hours of programming, which I'll do the backend, front end, and database together in 4 hours, I'll do in a certain way, so you will love it. Now here all this some of the tools I also have added. For example, Maven, I removed it in the last training, but I added it. Maven, I added it. Here some of the tools I have added here is let's say which one I added. See here, this is the whole things I added. AWS KMS was not there, SSL were not there, certificates were not there, I added. Now here you see here, SMTP, SES, SNS were not there, I added here. So some of the things which I find very difficult, people are not supportive in the last batch, so I removed it. So this batch will be flawless without any challenges.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So, I'm trying to understand, why are we not covering, as part of the DevOps class, why are we not covering Azure DevOps? Because I have seen a lot of requirements out there also for Azure DevOps only, but as I look through the outline, I don't see that in the content. So can you?
Yeah. So the DevOps which I'm teaching you is from the tool set which is very well known and not specific to a platform on AWS. Now, whatever when we say Azure DevOps, basically Microsoft have developed their own solution for each one of these. Let's say you want to do the infra management, Ansible work, or build code storage and everything. They have their own solutions actually, and which they have embedded at the Azure platform. So that is what they are saying, Azure DevOps, because for each and everything they have a services for it. Now, if you are interested in the Azure DevOps, there's one batch which is running here currently, which is you can enroll for it. But again, I think let's first learn this generic DevOps, because Azure DevOps, that means you will be only working on Azure. And if you learn generic, then you can apply these skills anywhere else also. So here we have our batches which is going on for Azure Develop. Where is that? Somewhere it should be here.
Okay. That's fine. Got it.
Yeah. So cannot locate it here. Should be in the Azure. Let me find out. It's here. Okay. So yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
Okay, guys. More questions?
Rajesh, as part of MD, is this Azure DevOps covered?
No, MD, we are not having Azure DevOps. We are having AWS here and all AWS related services.
Yeah, so I think it would have been helpful to cover Azure DevOps as part of the MD. Why? Because I see a lot of requirements out there for it. And if you're trying to...
There is a requirement. There is a requirement, but let me tell you here, Azure DevOps, it cannot be command. Let me tell you here, there's a concept, AWS DevOps, Azure DevOps, Google Cloud DevOps, whereas Azure DevOps become very popular. Now, when I say Azure DevOps, that means you have to know at least 50 to 60 services. Now, that cannot be covered in 4 hours or 8 hours. It required at least 30 to 40 hours. So yes, that practically it's not possible. Practically it is not possible.
Or do we have access to the recorded videos of these Azure DevOps?
No, if you are a part of the MD, you will be having the access to all these videos what we have, except the Azure DevOps. Only these recordings.
It would be nice for the MD people to actually have access to the Azure DevOps. I agree with the last person.
Okay, so I think can you please drop this email to Mantosh? He'll suggest you and he will take action on it.
Okay.
I think we have a recording. I think we have a recordings already available for the last batch of Microsoft Azure DevOps. Probably he'll help you. Definitely he'll help you. It should not be a big deal, because if you're a part of the MD, I think that should be. So I'll suggest Mantosh to do something over there.
Okay, I agree with the last person. I think we should have, because that's at least the MD should have access to the recording for the Azure DevOps. That way, anybody interested like myself and the last person, we can go back to go listen.
Sure, I'll talk to Mantosh and let's see what I can do over there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now, the Rajesh, the problems and the tools what you're showing. Okay, so these all the tools based on the cloud will get changed, is it? For AWS, these are the tools. For Azure, these are the tools. And
see here, Packer will change from ARM, Azure ARM. Artifactory, they have own services. Ansible, for they have their own services. Again, for discovery services, they have own services. Monitoring tool, they have own services. So many tools will get changed.
These all the tools what we are going to learn. Okay, it will be applicable for a AWS environment, right? AWS cloud.
No, this will be applicable for any project. It's not. AWS has their own services, competitive services actually. Let me tell you. So AWS has their own. See, basically, AWS is a platform. We have 4,000 services. Azure is a platform. We have 4,000 services. Out of that, we are trying to solve some problems. So now, if you have a problem, if you're trying to find out this problem solutions on the Azure or AWS, you'll find it. But again, this training is not for those specific problems to find out on those cloud platform, but in a generic tool which is more popular. For example, these tools which I have mentioned here is more popular for this problem than those stuff. But I agree, Azure DevOps is coming up very fast in the last few months or stuff like that. But again, if we focus on Azure DevOps, this course will not be applicable for you, because if you are looking for the Azure DevOps, that means you are only a DevOps engineer on a platform of Azure. Again, if you want to migrate to AWS or something else, again, you have to learn so many things. But if you learn this one, these technologies, I think you will be relevant for all the cloud platforms.
Yeah.
Rajesh, like if we see any job spec for a DevOps engineer or a DevSecOps, like we do see the cloud platform experience. So either it's a AWS or a Google Cloud or Azure. So that's the reason.
One thing we need to understand. Yeah, one thing we need to understand. AWS or Azure is a vast platform, and you have a services for everyone. You have a services for developer, you have a services for QA, you have services for security, you have a services for operations. For everyone, there is a services. So now the question is, what you need to know. That's important. So now here when we teach you AWS, you will know about the foundation services which everyone has to know. Now on top of that, you have a specialization. Now you want to DB side, dev side, operations side, admin side, IT side, DevOps side. So there's a specialization, and for each specialization you have a multiple services again. So it's a huge world actually over there.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So like the application, what in the project we do, like is it deployed only for AWS or other Google cloud platforms?
For this particular training, we'll be focusing more on AWS. So here we are using AWS. Here we are using cloud security in AWS, because the reason here is AWS is capturing the market share more than Azure right now. Okay, so that's one of the reason we are having AWS. But maybe after 6 months or 1 year, if we see Azure has captured the more market share than AWS, probably we'll migrate it. But right now we are focusing on AWS because AWS covers the large market share on the cloud platform. So here also you see AWS, here also you see AWS, somewhere here also you see AWS. So many places you have AWS. Okay guys, any other questions?
Keeping this entire curriculum in mind, Rajesh, okay, for any of the candidate who is the part of this batch and having, I would say, around more than 15 years of experience, okay, what kind of target and what kind of job they can search and they can target in the market? Any quick flash on this would be highly appreciated from you.
I think one of the profile which is getting very noticed nowadays in LinkedIn. Why I'm saying, because I'm getting lots of messages over the LinkedIn for this, and that the position is DevOps Principal Architect and DevOps Manager or DevOps Director. So these are the 3-4 roles which I'm getting very often in my box of LinkedIn, and I get a JD, and for that you would like to try for it. So I think if you have a 15 plus of experience, plus huge experience with the development and operations, plus these knowledge, I think you will be ideal candidate for DevOps Manager or DevOps Architect, Principal Architect, or DevOps Director or something like that.
Okay, but knowing all the tools, what I feel is the Jack of all, master of none. So out of these tools,
yeah, so that's what I said, right? See, knowing each tool, let's say I'll put it in a very simple example. Git. Do you know how many commands you have? 500 commands. How many commands we use every day? 30 commands. So there's a difference. You don't try to be a pro in every tools, because you get lost in that everything. Ansible, I'll tell you here, how many modules we have? 4,000 modules. How many roles we have in Ansible? 5,000 rules, but how many we use? Few. So again, requirement based. So again, understand this perspective. So you don't have to know each and everything for all these tools, but you need to know all the required things which will help you to get your job or save your job or get your project work done. That is what I'm thinking. Let's say a Java programmer. You know, we have a people who's having 15 plus of experience only in the Java programming, and he says, I don't know this topic, I need to read it. I've heard in the meetings actually, he's having 15 years of experience in the Java programming, and he's saying, this topic is new for me, let me come back to this. So it's like this. Getting my points?
Yeah, Rajesh, because you know, as and when we get more matured in this training, okay, might be our questions will get resolved, because this is the first day and everyone is getting more and more question in their mind.
Yeah. No
Rajesh, I have one small question. With regarding to the API and all that stuff, so is there anything related to API that is at least overview or something that is there here?
Yes,
Because
sir.
there are a lot of things.
API is our main topic actually. If you look at this Kubernetes API, it's all about the API only. Okay. If you look at the Envoy, Istio API, Console API. So these all tools are API management tools actually.
Okay. So like REST API or something, because we heard a lot of things that comes along, in the meeting, that this REST API is there, or API development is happening here and there. So just wanted
API development I'll do a little bit of here only, my Python session.
Yeah.
Development I'll do here, management I'll do here.
Rajesh, regarding the Python development for the web app, so are we using only the Flask or even the Django framework as well?
Sir, we have only one session. So if you look at the Flask itself is a huge topic. Django itself is a huge topic. So, but
Django has got. Django, we see a lot of opportunities with that. So compared to Flask, so that's the reason I was asking this question.
If you want, I can change this one to the Django. That's not a problem. There's no problem. Ultimately, Flask is easy little bit compared to Django, because here we have a less complication, because we have a limited hours, right? So that's the reason I'm using Flask. And people should know also, right? It's not about only opportunity. Let's say I'll tell you here, if you are not able to get the end-to-end perspective of any application development, so whether I use this framework or that framework, hardly you care about that right now, because you are learning right now.
Yeah, so the project, what we are doing, like if it was on a Django, so that we'll have a better understanding. So so that's what that was my question.
I'll check because we have I think 2 days or 3 days. I'll check if I can create a sample project in the Django, because I have this one created. Let me check. Let me come back to you, and I will remember this one.
Okay.
For the Jira Confluence, that include that big bucket, something like that, or it's different? It's same thing like Git only, right?
No. Jira is a issue tracking tool. Confluence is a knowledge management tool, wiki tool, and Git is for source code management. So both all are different. So anyways, I'll teach you that tool. So it's a part of that program.
So able to share the sheet, what you're showing, so that we can get some clarity.
Same sheet you have on your calendar also. This calendar, if you look at this, same sheet you have. It's not different. So go to the calendar, look at this here. All this thing is the same. But anyways, I'll send it to you, this Excel sheet also. Here.
Rajesh, you're using Python scripting or Python language, sir?
Yes, sir.
Here you are using Python scripting or Python language?
Here I'm teaching the Python language. There's no difference in the Python scripting and Python language. Python language is a Python language. When you say Python scripting, basically you do for the automating the system work. But when you do the Python programming for developing a software, so here I'm developing a software, not a system programming.
Sir, for Flask tool, we need means language Python. Python language is required for Flask tool, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, actually, I'm part of from like a admin part. Okay. So I know little bit knowledge on AWS. So where should I concentrate? Where should I concentrate on more on these tools? Because here a lot of tools are there. So one person can learn. It's not possible to learn all the tools. So where should I concentrate?
No, why not possible? Why not possible? I'm telling you here why not possible. I'm telling you, you have a 3 to 4 hours of session on this each tools, and
Okay.
you have 8 hours. You have to give 8 hours for each tool. That's all. And I think it should not be very challenging, I guess.
AWS is a part of like everything. It's like most of the part we are doing like infrastructure as a service, right? So where we can build the servers and
Yes. Okay, guys. Any other questions?
Rajesh, I have a question for you only. So, like based on your experience, sir, what is the turnaround time for me? Because my goal is to use this to get a job. For people to like transition from, when the class ends, the MDE program ends on September 24th, till like and potentially get a job. If I play all my part of, studying, practicing, applying, and all of that. But what is just generally based on your experience?
So, sir, how much time you can give every day? You tell me this first.
I would say during the week, maybe like 3 hours to 4 hours extra for learning during the week. During the weekend is hard for me because the class is already 4 hours. So I don't know. So that's kind of my
So
I think 3 hours
5
per
is to
4 hours
yeah.
per day.
So I think you are saying 3 hours. I'm counting 3 is to 5 days, 15 hours, and 15 hours if you spend, let's say, learning 2 tools, in fact, every day, every week. So I think 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 months, you should be ready to clear any interviews you come across. So I think 3 months should be ideal. 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And by the way, one more thing, you can re-attend the sessions again and again. So if you miss out the sessions, it will be because I told you the sessions will be repeated 2 times. That means up to the 4 months you can attend this session, and after that, lifetime LMS access you have with the up-to-date content. So anything you have, you are a part of MD, so I think you have so many access already.
Yes.
Okay, guys, anyone who's asking last question?
It's a happy weekend.
Sir, in your side, shell scripting tutorial is there in your side, DevOps side?
Yes, sir. Basic shell scripting I'll teach you here, and I have a 6 hours of recording of shell scripting also. Please drop me an email. I'll just send you the link for it.
Okay, thanks. Before that, we have made some confidence on that.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.